What is up, guys? Welcome to Truth and Transparency. Happy Friday. I got a special guest. What is up, Bella?
Hi, everybody. How's everyone doing on this Friday?
Friday. Again, welcome.
Get your sodas.
Get your midday bev. Is it a Friday happy hour?
Is it? Should I not be having a soda?
I don't know. You could have whatever you want.
Do you call it a pop or a soda?
I call it a pop, I guess. Can of Coke, can of Pepsi.
What do you say? Okay, pretend you're at the pretend you're somewhere wanting a can of this.
Like a can?
Well, no, like pop.
I'm gonna run in and grab some. Yeah, I'm gonna run and grab some pop.
See, okay, in California, we've never called it pop. It's always soda.
Yeah, I'm gonna run in and grab. I mean, when I was in Cincinnati for school, though, soda. I mean, I really didn't drink it much, so. But yeah, if I go to I would say honestly, I'd always say fountain drink. I want to go get a fountain Coke.
No, oh yeah, that's true.
I would always say fountain Cokes.
Just so you guys know, Lana is a big fan of fountain sodas.
Fountain.
Or fountain pop, however you guys want to say it.
Yeah, I'm all about fountain drink.
So
McDonald's has the best fountain Coke.
That's not true. You know what I hear?
Hands down.
Here's what I hear. People in Florida, I hear Frosty's has the best ice, and they buy it in Florida because they have this.
Frosties? Is that
I don't know. Is that a thing?
I don't know. Is that a place? Frosties?
Is it Frosty Freeze?
I have no idea.
People in Florida, let us know. Who is it that has the most amazing ice that you guys buy the ice? The ice is so good. Ice matters. Cup matters, right?
Yeah, I mean, ice matters. The amount of fizz that you have in your Coke matters.
Okay, well, I mean, hopefully it's not flat. But
yeah, East Coast, here we call it pop, baby. Yeah, baby.
Pop East. Okay, so we're in the East Coast, because I can't see comments, you guys. We're in the East Coast. Is this person? So in New York, in Boston, in New England, do you guys call it pop? Asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend. Sonic Ice is awesome. Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is, you guys. No. Oh, wait, maybe that
Sonic.
No, because it's something we don't have in Cali.
I have Sonic.
Should we try it?
You never had Sonic?
Well, Sonic. Okay, in Los Angeles, it's hard. You have to be going to the desert to get Sonic when you're in LA. You gotta travel to the desert. On the way to the desert, you get some pop. Sheesh.
I want to give a shout out to a girl back in the day. I'm a big fan of Chelsea Handler. And she went on her tour, and she got me this hoodie.
Tell everyone what it says in case they can't read it.
What does it say?
I'm the captain now, and it's Chelsea Handler.
Yeah. So this is my Captain Chelsea Handler hoodie, straight from the. But this is an interesting color. I mean, it makes it look like I'm nude, like I'm just blending all together. So.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I think everybody's split here. Some of them have sodas, some of them have pops. My son calls McDonald's Sprite spicy.
Oh,
yeah, 'cause it's got that kick to it. It has a kick to it. I know what he's talking about. McDonald's has the best. I don't know. They must get the real deal. You could tell that they're not being chintzy on what they're pumping to you.
Well, they don't do Pepsi. They do Coke.
McDonald's is Coke. Yeah.
Because in school I represented. For my marketing stuff, I represented
Bob
Pepsi.
Evans broke my heart when they switched from Coke to Pepsi.
Well, I'm a Pepsi fan, and we have things in this household. Get you Pepsi, get me Pepsi, get you Coke. But yes, okay.
All right, so I have Bella here with me today, and you guys, I've been bragging to you guys, but I'm like, listen, I'm telling you, I'll be doing a bunch of work here, talking about all my cases, doing all my stuff, and all I hear is stuff about Delphi, 24/7.
Stop it.
Stuff about Delphi that literally I'm like, what in the world are you even talking about? It's off the wall type shit. And so here we're gonna talk about Mitch's leak. Okay, we're gonna read off the affidavit for the probable cause. Then we're gonna read off his motion. He is trying to obviously get this dismissed. It's a misdemeanor, what he's being charged with, literally a misdemeanor. And so he put a motion in to dismiss it, and then we're going to talk about things around this timeline of when this all happened, and also kind of where Delphi's at right now. So let's jump right into, why don't you go ahead and read that? This is the probable cause for the arrest of Mitch Westerman, who was the leak in the Delphi. case.
So explain to everybody if
ahead, you
they're
can
just
explain.
being here. Okay, so Mitch Westerman, by all, what everyone knows, Baldwin and Rossi are Richard Allen's attorneys, and Mitch somehow went in. He's a consultant that was hired by Baldwin and maybe a friend that's questionable of Baldwin's, went in and took photos of the crime scene, of really highly sensitive stuff.
It's going to come out in all
Yeah,
this.
So we'll read this. So you guys will maybe get caught up in this.
I think everybody's pretty
well, maybe they aren't.
Well, if not, they got to catch up on their own. Here we go. Hop to it.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, you should use that voice, girl.
Oh, shoot. I didn't know. Okay. I, Benjamin Rector, being duly sworn upon oath, states that 1, I'm employed as a law enforcement officer with the Indiana State Police, ISP. My current assignment is a detective in the Criminal Investigations Division. 2, law enforcement was advised that on or about October 5th, 2023, that evidence from the murder case of the state of Indiana versus Richard Allen had been released to the public. There is currently an order from the court that the case prohibiting the release of evidence to the public. Law enforcement was made aware that this evidence may have been obtained illegally and began an investigation. Law enforcement was able to retrieve the evidence from the creators of a podcast, wonder who those are, who stated that they got the evidence from an individual in Texas. Indiana State Police First Sergeant Jerry Holman, welcome to the game, Holman, was able to identify the individual in Texas as Mark Robert Cohen. Mark Cohen was interviewed, and law enforcement obtained screenshots of messages between Mark Cohen and an individual named Robert Fortson, who now has supposedly killed himself after talking to Nikki. Robert Fortson and Mark Cohen have various discussions about various pieces of evidence involved in the Richard Allen case. I, Indiana State Police Detective Ben Rector, was assigned to assist in the investigation. Number 3, as part of the investigation, affiant completed interviews with attorneys Brad Rossi and Andrew Baldwin on October 12, 2023. Concerning the evidence that was taken without consent in regards to the representation of Richard Allen. Affiant previously knew that Rossi and Baldwin were attorneys which were assigned to represent Richard Allen in his criminal charges. 4. During the course of the interview with Andrew Baldwin, Detective Rector learned that Baldwin is an associate of Mitch Westerman. Baldwin has known Westerman for several years, and Westerman was previously employed by Baldwin's law firm. Westerman is no longer employed by the law firm. However, he still routinely stops by the firm to visit with staff and Baldwin. Also, it was noted he might have been a consultant who was asked to consult on the case. 5. On Monday, October 9th, 2023, Westerman contacted Baldwin around 4 p.m. and requested to meet with him. They met at Baldwin's office shortly afterwards. Westerman told Baldwin that he had used his cellular phone to take photographs of photographs, which were in Baldwin's conference room area. The photographs depicted the crime scene related to the criminal charges against Richard Allen. Westerman stated that he had done this a couple of months prior and that he had shared them with an individual named Robert Fortson. Through the course of the investigation, law enforcement learned that Fortson shared these photos with another individual in Texas, Mark Cohen. Cohen then shared them with various creators of YouTube channels and podcasts. 6. Baldwin stated that based on the timing of events, he believed that there were in fact crime scene photos from the Richard Allen case in the conference room when Westerman visited his office. He also stated that there would have been side-by-side photographs which were previously used by the defense team in depositions. The photographs that Baldwin described are consistent with photographs that Affiant has viewed, which were released of the crime scene. Baldwin stated that he did not authorize Westerman to take these photographs. 7. During an interview with Rossi, he also indicated that he did not authorize Westerman to take the photographs. Rossi further concluded that he believed that Westerman's taking of the photographs constituted theft because he did not believe that anyone had authorized Westerman to take the photographs. Can you guys see? Affidavit was also provided to Allen County Judge Francis Gull, which we know, which states the following, quote, comes now Mitchell Westerman being first duly sworn under oath and states that the following information is within his personal knowledge and is true to the best of his knowledge. 1, I was an attorney, Andrew Baldwin's office building, waiting to visit with Andrew. He was in his office either meeting with a client or on a telephone call with the door closed. I went into the conference room to wait. 2, I observed printed copies of photo evidence on the conference room table. I took pictures of a few of them. 3, Andrew Baldwin did not give me permission to take the photos of the printed copies. He was not present and he did not have any knowledge that I took photos of the evidence photos. 4, I am freely and voluntarily typing and signing this affidavit on my own accord because it is the truth, end quote. This document indicates it was signed on October 18th, 2023 by Mitchell Westerman and was also notarized. 9, affiant further believes that the above-mentioned facts establish probable cause to believe that Mitchell Westerman has committed the act of coercion. And they give a code, and we will get into this code, Indiana's code.
All right. So I went ahead and did this for you. So we have, they said October 5th. They're notified. Ellie's notified, right? Okay. October 9th, Mitch admits to Baldwin, right? And then so the breakdown is Mitch gives it to the Fisher's man, which is Fortson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He then gives it to a Texas man,
Which is Cohen.
And then Cohen decides to distribute these to various YouTube creators online.
And who knows where those YouTube creators on and on and on.
Okay. So with that said, we come to
what was put in by Westerman's team, defense team for him.
Yes.
And you were saying this is a misdemeanor, right?
This is a motherfucking misdemeanor. This is a motherfucking misdemeanor. Let me see if y'all can see it again. Again, just very simple as some crime scene photos. They've been leaked before. There's been stuff in this case that's been leaked before.
Yeah, and we're not going to be talking about that. I don't know why. Listen, these leaks were done to the news. I mean, so many months, way before this date, way before Westerman. But we're not going to talk about that apparently, and who made those leaks. But let's just get on with these ones.
Okay. And so then this happened in at the end of 2023.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we are, and Mitch's team, I believe it was last week, they go ahead and they filed this motion. Yes, it was filed February 25th. And so it's a motion to dismiss these absolute fucking egregious, frivolous. No, I don't even know. Basically, hey, we're gonna motion here, and we're gonna ask this court to dismiss it based on, and let's find out what it says.
And I'd like you guys to listen to this and let us know what you think, because defense attorneys have to do what defense attorneys have to do, but this kind of made me chuckle a little bit. Also, being a photographer, and if you guys can put 2 and 2 together with that, we'll get into that in a minute about how this would be precedent. So we'll get into this. Elo, do you want to read this, or what's going on?
Let's see what's up here. So we have a motion to dismiss and the defendant by counsel. So obviously they're going to say who they are. And let's just go right here. The charges were filed on October 21st, 2023. And information was filed charging the defendant with conversion as a Class A misdemeanor. the information is defective under Indiana Code 3534-1-4 because the information fails to recite facts that constitute an offense and must be dismissed under Indiana Code 3534-1-4A5.
And we'll get into
So
that.
basically what they're saying right here is that you didn't even list an offense. Like where is there any criminal action in what he just said?
Well, they're going to get into this, and they're going to be very specific about this. So you'll see what they mean about this in a couple minutes.
Okay. So in accordance with Criminal Rule 3, a memo stating specifically the grounds for dismissal is filed. And here it is. So, and they're asking for this just to be dismissed, right? Yep. Motion.
Absolutely.
If the allegations are either admitted or shown at the hearing on the motion to be correct, the defendant requests that the information be dismissed. So here we go, and they do a brief in this little memo. So brief in support of motion to dismiss.
Now, this is going to lay this out for everybody, and we will get into this code, and you will see what they're asking for and what the code specifically asks. And they actually do a good job of writing that up.
Yeah, you want to go ahead? Or
yeah, I can.
Okay, here, I'll do it. On November 21st, 2023, the state of Indiana charged the defendant with the crime of conversion on a Class A misdemeanor. The state specifically alleges that between August 1st and October 5th, so that's very important to highlight that date there between August 1st and October 5th. We'll come back to that as to show where that is in terms of Richard Allen's defense team and their investigative and what they're actually working on beginning at this time. Westerman did knowingly or intentionally exert unauthorized control over the property of Andrew Baldwin.
And that's a very important sentence right there, that the state is saying that. So,
or not that his defense team is saying that.
But that's also what that's what constitutes it. So they're like, pay attention to that sentence. Intentionally exert unauthorized control over property. They're going to make a very big deal about this.
Okay. The probable cause affidavit in this case was filed along with the information. The probable cause affidavit essentially states that at some point during the charge time frame, Westerman was in the office and or conference room of Baldwin. Westerman was alone and took photos of photographs or documents that were left on the conference room table. Westerman did not have permission to take the photos, and that Baldwin was not present and did not give Westerman permission to take the photos. The photos that Westerman took were photographs of crime scene photos from the Richard Allen murder case. The information is defective under Indiana Code 3534-1-4 because the information fails to recite facts and that constitute an offense and must be dismissed under Code 35-34-1-4A5. The defendant contends that if every statement in the charging information and the probable cause affidavit were true, the conduct does not rise to the level of conduct necessary to support a conviction for Class A misdemeanor conversion. You want to read what that?
They're going to actually get into it a little bit here, and it's very interesting.
In order for Westerman to be found guilty, the state would have to prove the following.
Here we go.
The following elements. Okay.
Beyond a reasonable doubt now. Come on.
Beyond a reasonable doubt. And it's kind of like revenge porn. And we'll get to that at a different date. The following elements, beyond a reasonable doubt, must be proven in order to even have you have to meet all of this in order for it to be that crime.
Yes.
Okay. Which is number one, Westerman knowingly and or intentionally.
And here we go with the thing you underlined. Exerted unauthorized control
over property. The property was images owned by Baldwin. The information in this case is deficient because it fails to show that Westerman exerted unauthorized control over property and that the property was actually owned by Baldwin. Exerted unauthorized control. Assuming all facts in both the information and probable cause affidavit are true, the state has failed to state when or how Westerman has ever exerted control over photographs or images found in Baldwin's office. The state has only alleged that Westerman took unauthorized photos. Taking photos is not the same as exerting control.
Can you see where we're going with this, you guys? Now, this is a very interesting
argument.
Very interesting argument. I mean, they have to have one. This is a good one. I mean, I don't know if it's a good one, but it's interesting.
They're going to win.
Oh my God, I don't know about that. Keep going.
I think so. 354341 defines exert control over property, C1A. As used in this chapter, exert control over property means to obtain, take, carry, drive, lead away, conceal, abandon, sell, convey, encumber, or possesses property, or to secure, transfer, or extend a right to property. The allegations in the probable cause affidavit and the information fail to show that Westerman did any of those actions required to meet the definition exert control over property. The charging documents likely come closest to meeting the definition by implying that Westerman obtained the images. This argument fails. Westerman did not obtain the actual images in Baldwin's office.
Come on. Come on. There's like
Westerman only obtained images of the images.
Oh my God, the president.
Yeah.
No, are you really?
I love law.
Yeah, but look, come on now. Okay, let's go because there are a few. Okay, go ahead.
Boom.
There's no boom here. This is like
I think that's great.
This is like a weak drop in the bucket. Like what? Okay.
I think it's great.
It isn't at all. Not for any
Hey,
artist.
we're talking about law. We're talking about, you want to talk about definitions?
You want to talk about copyright? You want to talk about First Amendment? You want to talk about free use? You guys start thinking about your free use and what is defined as free use.
Okay, so here we go. Again, this argument fails. Westerman did not obtain actual images in Baldwin's office. Westerman only obtained images of the images.
Oh.
There is nothing in the charging documents that state that Westerman ever touched the photographs.
Like that wouldn't matter, but okay, good. Let's try.
This is amazing. There is nothing in the charging documents that states that Westerman ever picked the photographs up.
Sheesh.
There is nothing in the charging documents that states that Westerman ever possessed the actual images. He simply took photos.
It's simply a photo.
Taking photos is not in the statutory definition of exerting control over property.
Oh my, I don't know.
Oh, do you think that case law is going to change over this?
I mean, I think it would set a precedent. Absolutely. This is a very interesting thing when it comes to law. Usually things like this, we'll get into what has been fought, where there are precedents set with stuff like this.
Hi, Mod Squad. What's up, girl?
There she is.
Said, oh my goodness, Bells.
She calls me Bells and I love it.
Oh,
I love the nickname. I love Mod Squad. I love your mods. They're amazing. That's why I liked you to begin with. Did they know this story?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
There are numerous examples of analog behavior that are obviously not conversion. For example, if an individual goes to a museum...
Listen to this, you guys. Please listen to this. Okay, I need to step away because I will, as an artist, lose my stuff. But okay, go ahead.
Okay, so for example, if an individual goes to a museum and takes a picture of a painting with a no photos sign next to it, has that person committed conversion? Of course not.
I love the writing.
Of course not. If someone takes a photo over their neighbor's fence of the flower garden, have they converted their neighbor's flowers? Again, of course not.
Instagram, here we come.
Now, if the museum patrons takes the painting off the wall, or
what?
Or the neighbor picks the flower, then they are committing conversion. The difference in these examples is whether or not control is being exerted over the property of another. In these examples, just like in Westerman's case, simply taking a photograph does not meet the definition of exerting control over property.
So basically they're saying because he didn't pick up the actual photos, he is not doing conversion. But listen, like
didn't pick them up, didn't take control of them.
Yeah, so they're saying, look, this definition doesn't meet what you're charging my client with. And maybe
basically it's going to be theft, and it's going to be whether or not Baldwin wants to press charges.
No, because it matters what the judge decides if it can meet the criteria, because we're splitting hairs, okay? But maybe it depends on the judge.
You're either going to dismiss it and recharge the.
Listen, it's a simply misdemeanor.
It's a simply PPO, damn it.
It's a simply misdemeanor. Just take the simply misdemeanor. It's a simply photograph.
It's a simply photograph, and it's a simply PPO. Property of Baldwin. The state has also failed to show that Westerman exerted control over property of Baldwin. There have been no allegations made in the charging information that the images were of anything that was copyrighted or trademarked.
You guys, they are literally going to case law, because that is something
that's what everybody should go to.
Listen, that is because it's unprecedented. Like, look, we know you cannot go into a lawyer's office and there's something that you are not allowed to take photos of, like a crime scene that is highly
How do we know that we can't do that? How do we know that? Yeah, because I think it'd be called theft. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, this is you're charging him.
You think that they charged him wrong?
100%.
You think they should have? Well, then this argument would have stood there too. What did he steal? He simply took a photo.
He simply took work product.
You mean intellectual property is what you're trying to say, or what?
Maybe.
No, this is something that it's a no-no.
But the court ordered that you couldn't give it out. He didn't give it out, right? I think this would be interesting. I want to hear some arguments on this.
Well, we might.
I think that this is interesting.
But I mean, it's a simply
PPO,
misdemeanor. So I don't know, but it is an interesting argument in that the way that they're arguing this, what has been case law is like the biggest thing has been Andy Warhol.
I don't think this is okay. I don't think this is you know how if someone does something to you, they steal something out of your car.
Sure.
Right? If you don't go to the police and file a report against that person, the police aren't doing shit to you.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Even if like your fucking neighbor goes to the police and says, hey, I was walking my dog in the morning and I swear somebody was fiddling around in that car. And I just thought maybe I should, tell you.
Sure.
What do you think the police are going to do?
Knock on your door and say, was someone fiddling in
Probably
the car?
Nothing.
Depends what city.
Okay.
But yeah.
But at the end of the day, the police get involved when somebody reports a crime.
Like you're saying when there's a victim.
Yeah. When there's a victim, when someone reports a crime or a potential victim.
Unless it's domestic violence, which is like
that would still be a victim.
No, because that's a nationwide rule where because a lot of times victims don't say that they're victims, so they've now made it a thing that if it gets reported, they just take control. But
this came about a different way.
Okay.
Like as far as there was a leak, so then clearly they're trying to get to the bottom of basically they investigated the leak.
Okay? And they should have.
Okay, because they should have investigated a double homicide.
No, they should have investigated a long time ago. And the thing, remember we talked about this one time. There was a lot of YouTubers, not just the ones that said they had it. There's a lot of YouTubers that even after the fact were given emails saying, would you buy these photos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those YouTubers, some of them called the police and said, listen, some of them didn't. Listen, I got this email and it says if I want to buy Delphi. And those YouTubers were told to delete the email and act like they never got it. The law enforcement never said, hey, send us, we're going to investigate and see who sent you this email, where it came from. That would have been important.
Well, that's why I would fight this if I was him, because I would drag all this and say, yeah, I want a jury trial, let's go.
Okay. But do you see how?
Because all that stuff would come out.
But Baldwin and Rossi went and said, hey, look, we had a breach. They're the ones that said, hey, we had a breach. This happened.
Yeah, because the best part about this would be is where would that have, if Baldwin and Ross don't say anything, where do they go with it?
But they're so ethical that
That's what I think is amazing.
Yeah.
But let's go back to this whole thing. Like, okay, you're charging this guy with this crime, which clearly they're arguing that like
it's not covered.
Pick another charge, buddy, because this isn't it.
They're saying pick another
and
charge.
That's what I'm trying to say is I think that they didn't charge him with the right crime. If I think what they all did, it's like IGG. It's just unethical. It's the wild, wild west out there.
Well, IGG it's always the wild, wild west, and they haven't set the rules for that. This is maybe
what
maybe
he just did was unethical.
Listen, it's beyond that. Okay, they wanted a gag on this. They wanted things to be kept silent.
Mm-hmm. And then this guy just waltzes his fucking ass in there, and due to the relationship that he's had with Baldwin,
right?
Okay, we know who he is, okay, and he's sitting there waiting, like they just said, like he was there. Baldwin's door is closed. He's in a meeting or on the phone, and then this guy thinks that he's just going to whip out his phone. Well, how does the secretary? Who the fuck is their secretary? How does she not? Or unless they said, "Hey, wait in the conference room," and those were out. I mean, there's going to be a lot of testimony if this even makes it to that point. But I think for the purpose of all this, I think this is going to go away because they don't want certain things probably to come out.
Okay, maybe, but
I think this is gonna be dropped.
Listen, they're gonna be like Westerman, just freaking say it, and a lot of things are gonna come out.
Because I want to know why he would do it. I want to know motive.
Exactly.
That's why this has to drop.
Exactly.
Because what's your motive to
do
this?
So supposedly,
how do you know this guy?
Okay, so supposedly Fortson's motive, right? Because Fortson, what he ended up doing before he supposedly allegedly killed himself, is he put out a lot of these. Okay, so Westerman isn't who put them out. He went to Fortson, and Fortson put them out everywhere with a few other people, and Cohen, helped facilitate that. Supposedly, it was their reasoning, or Fortson's, was to get the truth out there. Okay, he wanted the truth out. Now,
what does it mean? He wanted the truth out there. Like, how does he know what the truth is?
Because I guess he had seen a lot of the evidence and he was very invested. This is what the rumors are. Now, do I believe everything? I don't know.
I think he sounds like he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
You think Fortson's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs?
Yeah, because why is he playing God and wants to put something out? Like you have an arrest of a man, you have him in the great hands of.
He doesn't think Richard Allen did it.
I get that.
But here's what trips me out. All of the readings, let me just explain something. All of the things that he has put out there, this is the only thing that trips me out. These are allegedly Fortson stuff. And I know some of it isn't Fortson. Like, he did probably share his accounts with other people. It starts, in my opinion only, you guys, it starts leading to being very pro-prosecution. And I know that Nikki, the prosecutor, talked to Fortson prior to him passing. So I'm very confused on what transpired. But I mean,
you're very confused as to why he would commit suicide, is what you're saying.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing. Okay. No, I'm confused as to.
So I'm still going to go back to this whole motive thing, and let's go back to Mitch. Let's go back to Mitch
and
Westerman.
That leads into that the motive. So why is Fortson changing his tune?
But no. Fuck even who that guy is.
He's the one that put it out there.
But I don't care who did it. In order for him to even have that, Westerman took the photos. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if I'm cool with you, or I'm cool with Mod Squad, okay. Mm-hmm. And why in the world
is Mod Squad Baldwin? I want to know who Baldwin is.
That's Baldwin.
Okay. Mod Squad, you're Baldwin.
Yeah. Why would I? And they're in charge of one of the most high-profile cases that's out there today. Right now. It's the top. I think it's top 5.
100%. Okay. Especially in the area. You're from Indiana.
Yeah. 100. I mean, it's top 5 in the country.
Okay.
So you're going to, in your type of like what you do for a living, go in there, take photos of this, all right, and then decide to give them to somebody else who you don't even know. Okay.
That's a very good question, right?
Okay. For the purpose of what? Now, but let's back up again to the whole, why would I want to ever put myself in a situation to have those, okay, and knowing this town and how fucked up they are, that I would even want those in my motherfucking possession.
You're Westerman.
Yes. Why would I even want those pictures in my possession, knowing how corrupt this fucking town is, knowing how corrupt this place is? Why would I ever put that? Do you understand? I'm putting myself literally put a bullet in me.
Yeah.
Why? What the fuck is going on here? And if nobody sees that, then I don't think that you know anything about Delphi case.
Right. True.
So
no, I what you always try to get me to say on your lives is leaks. And I have to be very careful about what I say, because what I know could get a lot of people in trouble, right? So I have to be really careful. But that's a very good question as to motive. And why don't you ask yourself how he knew Robert?
Why don't I ask myself this? How did he know that those would be out?
Right. Ding, ding, ding.
When they were out.
No. Forget that. He's in and out of Baldwin's. Like he knows where Baldwin, dude. Like it's like me being at your house.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like
me being at your house. I know what's up.
Why would I ever? When Baldwin's saying the word betray, the ultimate betrayal to me is not that you did that to me. It's about why you did it and who you did it for.
Exactly.
That's the ultimate betrayal. So what my ending conversation was going to be is me and Mod Squad here. Mm-hmm. If I did something and here I turned around and gave it and did whatever and went and gave it to somebody that's been trolling the fuck out of me.
Right. Well, wait a minute. You're Westerman. You're not Baldwin, so it'll be Mod Squad. But let's say
that's what I'm trying to say. Like that.
100%. I get what you're saying.
And I go and give it to somebody that's been like literally going for Mod Squad.
But don't ask why. How did he know it was out? That's not the question. The question is, how did he know who to give it to get the desired result? Okay. What is their relationship? And how did
There's
that
a
happen?
middleman. There's 100% a middleman between that, without a doubt.
Well,
is the middleman the internet? Did they meet on the internet?
No, like
I'm saying the middleman between like Westerman and this dude.
Okay.
Give it to this
guy.
Let's
just go with that. But what I'm saying is, obviously, there's going to be, if I know you very well, like me, like I was saying about me and you, I know where everything is in this home.
What would be the skin in the game for me?
Yes.
I have to get something out of this. Otherwise, why?
If you're Westerman.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
I'm not doing this for nothing. Why the fuck would I do this? Unless I owe somebody a favor and so, like they have blackmail on me. When people have dirt on you, you have to do this. Otherwise, I'm going to do this. That's what that town is all about. I guarantee you they have dirt on that man. Okay. And you're going to do this. The ultimate betrayal to me, the way that Baldwin seemed, is you did this, not for yourself, not for that fucking dude that committed suicide.
For yours. Okay.
You did this because, and you gave it to somebody that had shit on you and that you were working for. That's how I see this. Because there's why the fuck would you ever put yourself in a mess like this?
Right.
I mean, how much money would you need? And then
you tell on yourself too.
And then you fucking tell on yourself.
So what happened?
That makes absolutely no sense. But you guys, it's so important in my opinion, because it almost took Richard Allen's defense away from him.
Oh, 100%. It did. It took his defense away. And then if people don't know this case, they will say, and Gull is a genius at this, on the surface, making it look like she is doing stuff in the best interest of Allen. Because if you just read just what Gull says, like, yeah, your lawyers are inept. Look at this stuff they let leak. We need to remove them. We need to save you from yourself, Allen. But if you know any backstory and you know how, I mean, you guys.
I just think this can't get dismissed. They need this to come out.
This is a bit, Westerman's thing is a big deal.
Yes,
okay?
Yes, this is everything.
And people can look at it. And people can look at it as a simply misdemeanor, right?
It's a simply PPO.
They can look at it as a simply misdemeanor. But
we need Westerman to tell the story. Okay, and let me tell you something. It may not come out in his little fucking Casey case, but I'm going to tell you, don't you think it's relevant at Allen's trial?
100 million %. This is a big deal.
Yes.
So it's a simply misdemeanor, but
it has huge implications on a huge
So if you want to talk about
case.
eyes on Delphi, which we do have eyes on, you guys, the nation's eyes are on Delphi. This is so, Westerman's thing is so important. His trial, his hearings and what he's doing, his affidavits, his probable cause. These are important things that are happening. Okay. So anyways, also if you want, I don't know, but I just wanted to let everybody know what happened is that he got his trial date moved. So now they're having a March 27th. You want to mark that down on your calendars, 9 a.m. March 27th at 9 a.m. They are filing for the dismissal hearing. Okay. So these will be heard.
I agree.
On the 27th. Read who it is. I can't see chat.
Donnie says, in my opinion, Slick Nick is behind it all.
I love that he calls him Slick. So I like to call him Nicky, and I guess I'm being very disrespectful, but I'm not a lawyer, so I can be as disrespectful as I want. I like to call Baldwin and Rossi Baldy, the Baldy team. I mean, it's better, I don't know, Rosswin, Baldy.
Yeah, but
you guys should vote. Do a poll.
This can't get pushed under the rug, and I'm surprised that they don't just drop the maybe this is a way to get it dropped. They can't. Nobody can have this come out as to what the fuck, why this all happened, and why did Mitch? Why did you? I don't know. I was just bored one day. That's not the reason. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's not going to be the reason.
I don't mean to like burst anyone's bubble here, but my bubble got burst on Delphi a long time ago when it wasn't about Abby and Libby. So let me just let everybody know we are never solving this. We're never getting justice, and that's how it is because of messes like this. And this is nothing.
Do you think that it's Richard Allen?
Do I think Richard Allen is the murderer? No.
I mean, I don't think Richard Allen's involved at all. So you think Richard Allen?
I know some things, so I'm not going to say some things, but I don't think he's the murderer. Okay. At all.
So you think that he should be charged differently?
I think that
then you want to talk about.
I don't want to actually don't want to talk about it, but I think that this is. I think that Delphi needs basically an anarchist uprooting. I think that it is basically like rip everything out and start over again because that town is so freaking corrupt. So many people are dying under suspicious circumstances that are on the periphery of this case because of so many things involved.
Yeah.
And it has muddied the waters because two 13-year-old girls who should be 20 years old right now, going to college or doing whatever they want and starting their life are no longer with us. And we have lost the plot a long time ago. And that angers me.
Yeah. Well, going back to this.
Yeah, go back to this.
Here we go. And give Westerman immunity if he promises to tell 100% of why he did it and who he did it for.
No one's gonna. I don't believe anybody. Modsquad, my love. I don't believe anybody is going to be 100% honest in this. I would be very surprised by reading what his lawyers just had put out on the 25th. This what we're reading right now. I mean, maybe they're saving him a couple of months and Lana, you always say if you're in trouble, be vocal about it because you might not get killed.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe this is his way of not getting killed. Mm-hmm. The amount of people who have been killed.
Yeah, that's true.
Around this case is astronomical.
That's actually a really good point with this case. 100%. If you have stuff and people know that you have stuff and no one knows it, then when they kill you, if they kill you, then no one thinks it has anything to do with anything.
I mean, people are ready to die at this point dealing with Delphi. I don't mean to be dramatic about it. Actually, let's just move on.
You know what I can't wait to do because I'm going to do a live where I reveal who do we think is testifying in that case. How many people are going to be testifying in that case? Fucking talk about how long that trial.
Talk about zipping your mouth and not saying anything and then wait for the CW thing to drop and then talk about Ron Logan being involved when.
I know. What do you think the implications are going to be with that woman saying that she thinks it was Ron Logan on the bridge?
Dillman, his ex-girlfriend.
That she's going to be testifying now.
But listen, here's what I see there, you guys. I've studied statement analysis and body language. I'm not the best at it, but I'm pretty good at it. What I see, in my opinion only, what she is doing there is she has assigned that to him, that voice to him. And that, do you know how many times people have said my voice is somebody else's? And they could swear up and down it is. and it isn't. Okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, so, you know, and I have a very distinctive voice. So when she closes her eyes in that, if anyone has seen it, and she says, down the hill, it's him. She doesn't even say it in the same cadence. So what she's remembering, in my opinion only, is not the same thing. She's attributed a lot to it. Do I think Ron Logan is off the record? Like, you just take him off? I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying
I think Ron Logan through parties. I think Ron Logan's property was used to party.
I think what people would ever know about Delphi would blow their minds.
Yeah, 100. I agree. All right, so the state has failed to show that Westerman exerted control over the property of Baldwin. There have been no allegations made in the charging information that the images were of anything that was copyrighted or trademarked. To the contrary, the allegations are that Westerman took photos of images that were from the discovery in a murder case. These are not images that are owned by Baldwin. These are minimizing. These are images that are possessed by other people involved in the murder case.
Jeez.
Other attorneys may have these images. The state has these images. The police likely have these images. These images may be possessed by the trial court. Baldwin may own the paper that these images were printed on. However, as previously stated, there is nothing in the charging information to indicate that Westerman controlled the actual paper. Our Court of Appeals has analyzed a civil case involving an employee using the software of a former employee.
Wow.
Coleman versus Boyovich.
Good job.
Yeah, you like that? Boykovich right here.
Right there.
The court held former employees' possession of a software did not constitute conversion or trespass to the chattel. As to employer did not own the software and instead licensed it, and former employees' illicit copyright or copying of the software did not impair employers' ability to use it. So they are citing a little bit of case law there.
It's case law from the early 2000s, 2005.
Yeah, an appeals court. Yeah, right, appellate.
Yeah, it's an appeals thing.
Westerman's case is very similar to Coleman versus Boykovich. Baldwin is similar to the company with the software license. Simply possessing something legally yourself does not mean that you own it for purposes of the conversion statute. By possessing discovery, Baldwin is similarly situated to the company that has a license for the software. If anything, the company that actually pays for the software license likely has a stronger claim to ownership than an attorney that receives evidence as part of the discovery process.
You guys, I mean...
For the above state reasons, Westerman does not believe that the charging information adequately states the grounds that an actual crime has occurred. Because of this, all charges against Westerman should be dismissed. And there you go, signed and dated. Now,
and we're going to hear this on the 27th at 9 a.m. Indiana time, you know. But I just want to bring your attention.
There's going to be cameras in the courtroom?
Oh, well, we just got that handed down a couple of hours ago. Not that, but I'll read that to you.
So March 18th, there's a hearing, no cameras though, right?
They just put down the no camera.
You know what that means.
So let me read it.
That means things are going to go the defense's way.
The court has received and reviewed 4 requests of recording of court proceedings by news media relating to the hearing to be conducted on March 18th, 2024. Having reviewed the request, the court now denies the request and notifies counsel by way of this order. So that was put in maybe 2 hours ago. I can show it because I guess it's not. You want me to show it?
That's all right.
Okay, never mind. I don't know. I don't know if Westerman, if his thing is going to be televised. I doubt it. It's a simply misdemeanor.
It's simply misdemeanor. I don't even know if there's cameras allowed to be in there. Jerry Holman, he's just everywhere, it seems like.
What are we doing?
Well, I was just saying Jerry Holman was involved in the Westerman stuff. Jerry Holman's involved in the Delphi.
I mean, that last name, I don't know, but yes.
So, but
Holman.
What do you guys think out there? What do you think? Do you think that this should be dismissed? Do you think this hey, nice try, but this is going to go on.
This goes
does it
upon
meet-
fair use. Do you
What do you
understand that? Do you understand what this would mean for fair use? So I can legitimately take a photo, okay, of an art piece and I can sell it because it's fair use, because it's a photo of a photo. I didn't touch your photo. I didn't steal your photo. I just took a picture of your photo. Excuse me? No. Yeah, no. This kind of brushes on copyright infringement, but this is about law. And that's where I think that there's going to be precedents precedents made if we go down this bizarre road. But hey, nice try. I feel bad for Baldwin because, I obviously love Baldy.
What do you guys think here? Put a 1 in chat if you think that this will get dismissed. A 1 is for dismissal. A 2 is nice try. So a 1 dismiss, 2 nice try.
So let me just talk to you guys about one of the biggest cases, but I mean, it's out of New York, so it's good that they brought up this case in Indiana. But
we'll take the first 20 votes to see what comes in as the jury pool.
So Andy Warhol, you guys know, if you know what Andy Warhol does, he also owned the magazine Condé Nast. And they had commissioned somebody to take photographs of prints. And that person came and said, hey, I want Andy Warhol to make a picture of Prince. So he did his pop art style of Prince, like it's called Orange Prince. And the photographer sold, but it was Andy's work. And they went back and forth about that and set a case precedent. It's like Goldman versus Andy Warhol. What do we got?
We have 8-2. What do you think? Dismiss?
Wait, dismiss versus...
Dismiss is 1, 2 is nice try.
No, dude. Like,
this isn't going to dismiss. They're going to say, like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. Like, it doesn't mean they're going to have to I don't think they're going to get him on these charges.
I don't know. It's Indiana, and what other charges? Where do you want them to go with these charges?
It's theft.
It's theft of what? What are you going to call it theft of?
That's what they would have to figure out. I'm not fucking...
Well, no. You got the idea.
Well, that's what he stole it, right? What'd he steal?
What he's basically saying is, I didn't even touch it, so it's not even theft. You can't say theft because under theft, what is it? You have to walk out with something. I'm sorry, it meets the criteria.
But he defraud anybody.
Listen, here we got the criteria. I mean, I could pull it up, but it was right here.
It doesn't meet the criteria.
It does. You carry out, you blah, 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 blah.
No, it does not. It's right here.
I'm going to bring it up right now.
These are right here.
Okay. No.
Westerman, knowingly and or intentionally.
Check mark. Exerted. This is where number 3.
Control over property.
Number 3 is where they're having this whole.
The property was images owned by Baldwin. No, number 4 is what the problem.
Okay, I'm gonna bring. No, it's gonna be 3 because that's what they're making the big deal about.
Well, I think it's 4.
But that's not what they're making the big deal about.
The property was images owned by Baldwin. They say that
the court may, upon the motion of the defendant, dismiss the indictment or information upon the following grounds. 1. This is what they're saying to dismiss. The indictment or information or any count thereof is defective under section 6 of this chapter. Okay. And then they go further and they say number 5.
Oh, Jen, no, you understand. You and Bella are 2s. There's a bunch of 2s out there.
It says number 5, the facts stated do not constitute an offense. See how they
facts stated
don't constitute. Then they say that here that's what they're going for. The facts stated do not constitute a defense. And because
this is what you have to prove. These are the elements of that crime. You have to Westerman knowingly and or intentionally exerted unauthorized control over property, which is it property? He didn't exert control.
Listen, it's his property. He's the defense attorney.
But as I'm saying, the property was images owned by Baldwin. This is the statute. The statute is these are the elements of that statute. And number 4 and number 3, I think number 4, no fucking way, because they're saying Baldwin has to own, and he doesn't own them. because other people have them.
While this may read like the definition of theft in Indiana, conversion charges typically stem from situations where an offender intends to return the stolen property. And listen, I don't think that I don't know if they're going to set a precedent for this.
I agree.
What is it? Read it.
I agree with this.
Read
he
it.
made a copy of protected materials and disseminated them.
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
I think that's correct. He
So
did something wrong, but this isn't the charge.
So what's the charge?
That's their job.
The nuances of Indiana's theft and conversion laws. Indiana's theft laws may seem rather broad, but the statute does explicitly define what some of the phrases contained in the laws mean. For example,
I think it's civil too.
States that exert control over property means to obtain, take, carry, drive, lead away, conceal, abandon, sell, convey, encumber, or possess property, or to secure, transfer, or extend a right to property. He has transferred it. He has obtained it.
But not the actual physical property.
We have to split hairs
No,
to say.
they're going to have to change that in the, they're going to have to change that.
Maybe, but they're going to have to argue.
They're not going to say that he obtained any property.
But it's obtained. It is obtained.
He's going to say that he obtained an image.
But that's the thing. The image is the thing.
Okay, if I take a picture of the Mona Lisa, I didn't fucking steal the Mona Lisa.
If it says, do not take a photo of the Mona Lisa.
And they said, is that conversion? And they just said, like, no, it's not.
They can say whatever they want, but
And
if the laws are, so then what would it be?
Who would sue them for that?
France. But like what, okay, so like what would that be then? You have to go by the laws of the state. In addition,
I think that he should be held in contempt. I think that he should be held in contempt of court.
Okay.
That's what I think.
And what?
But is he under the gag order?
Listen, so I don't know, but then you either
that would be the
Baldwin.
thing. Like, is he under the gag order? And I don't think he is under the gag order. Then so how could he be held in contempt of court? I think that this matters between Baldwin and him. And if Baldwin was to press charges on him for civil.
Look, in addition, Indiana theft law states that a person's control, and this is what his attorneys are arguing, over another person's property is unauthorized.
And it's not his property.
It is. Okay. It's unauthorized if it is, quote, exerted without the other person's or business's consent. Or in a manner, or in a manner or to an extent other than that to which the other person or business has consented. If I'm leaving this out and I don't, and you cannot come and take a photo of it, you're being horribly naughty and you should get spanked. But it's not my decision, so whatever. Mitch Westerman messed up and made Baldwin look bad, and thereby almost got them taken from him. From Richard Allen.
Did he transfer materials?
Okay, what's your definition of transfer? Because absolutely,
he 100% transferred.
Yes, and so it needs the statute.
That property,
but
he made his own property.
But then wouldn't that?
I'm just going to be a defense attorney here and try to oral argue the fuck for my client.
But listen, why wouldn't that be? Then that would be theft. Then you'd go with
that's what I was saying. I believe
if he transferred the actual property,
I think this is a civil case.
Listen, he converted this. He possessed it. He obtained
Baldwin never went to the authorities to say that this man stole from me.
He did, absolutely. He went to the judge.
No, but he didn't go to did he go and file a police report?
Listen, you go to the judge who is handling the case.
That is something completely different.
No, it isn't, because that's who's the authority over this case.
Yes, you go and do that, but then did you go to the police and say that somebody stole my shit?
Wait, why would you? Listen to me. The police go to a judge to get their verdict. Like the police, it doesn't work.
Think about this. If somebody stole something out of your house, do you call just a judge in a case that just because they stole what happens to be in that case, you're still going to call the police to report a theft? If I'm
having relations with a judge and he leaves his boxers at my house and someone steals them and puts them on the internet, I'm calling the judge.
As soon as Baldwin was contacted by Mitch Westerman, I believe he should have contacted the police to make a police report, and I think that he should have contacted the judge.
If you're
trying to do what you're supposed to do, I would think that
You get a hold
You
of
stole that shit from me.
right.
But you would also I would also file a police report.
Okay, listen to me. In Delphi, where things are leaked, you're gonna go to the corrupt, what you call corrupt police, or you're gonna go to who is in charge of this.
I'm just saying I would be covering my motherfucking ass.
No, you cover your ass by going to where it needs to go.
Yes, but you would also go to the police now.
No, you're emailing it, and there is stuff that is backing you up.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Baldwin did the right thing. Baldwin is not in the wrong.
I didn't say Baldwin is in the wrong. I don't think that Miss Westerman should be charged.
What?
What do you mean what?
He should absolutely
charged with what?
Charged with whatever.
Being a shitty friend. Charge me with being a shitty friend.
Bullshit. Charged with being a shitty friend. Why are you putting this shit out? It would ruin their case.
That's what now we're talking. Now let's talk about extortion. Maybe Miss Westerman was extorted and he was blackmailed.
Okay, let me just say it this way to you.
Let's start to find out why Mitch did what he did.
Let me put it to you this
knowingly and or intentionally.
You have a case going on. You have a judge.
Yeah.
Okay. You're pro se.
Yep. Pro se all day.
Right. I come in, I take photos of all of this stuff and I give it to the other side.
Okay.
And then I come to you and say, oh my God, man, I feel so bad. I gave this to the other side. Are you going to write the judge and let them know that, oh my God, this stuff that wasn't supposed to get out, that we have this ongoing case about, and I'm the lawyer on my case, this broad came and did this to me? Are you going to call the cops and wait for justice?
That means that, no, you are part of the gag order, so you would be 100%.
Why would I be part
if you're the other side,
I'm not the other side.
Who are you then?
I'm just your girlfriend living here with you.
And you took pictures of something and you did what?
And I gave it to the other side.
Yeah, I would call the police on you.
It would take so much longer. You wouldn't tell the judge? Well, come on.
I would say, this fucking whack.
I know. No. Come on. What would you do?
I would say you are one
Doesn't
obsessed.
Doesn't matter what you say to me.
You are one obsessed fuck.
Maybe Baldwin said that. But come on. What would you do? You would write the judge. You would write the judge.
No, let's just say, no, my fucking crazy girlfriend stole my fucking work, gave it to...
Who would you say this to? The internet?
I would say it to the police.
You would make a YouTube
No, I wouldn't tell the
internet. You would. But listen, you would have to tell the judge. Listen, that's how it goes down.
These crazy people. No, they'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, that's my own issue.
Girl, if you try to explain
if somebody
all this
that
to
lived
the cops,
with me took pictures of my shit and gave it out,
no,
they're cohabitating with me.
No, listen.
They have just as much right to that shit. I think I would lose.
No, listen. In the middle, not just took pictures, like in the middle of a hearing, in the middle of an ongoing case.
Yes, I don't think they'd be like, well, tough shit.
Who would say tough shit to you? The judge or the cops?
Everybody. What do you mean?
No, I'm asking who you would go to.
I think the reason I'm arguing this way is because I don't believe that it's the same thing. Because I don't think I would have a leg to stand on. If somebody in my own home.
Maybe that's why you're arguing it that way.
Yeah.
But let me explain something to you. You should go to the judge.
I said I would go to both.
But you should tell the judge.
I would tell of course, but I would also tell the police because it's theft.
Police are going to be
how I would look at that is theft.
Maybe.
And that's exactly what Baldwin and Rosie wrote in their fucking shit.
But look at the statute. Theft. Look at how the statute reads.
Listen, I would be reporting
that's what the statute reads. It actually reads, it's like theft or conversion. Like,
so therefore,
it's kind of the same thing.
And I think it falls on if Baldwin reported, if he wants to pursue charges on this guy, like he stole your shit. How do you feel about that? Well, I mean, yeah, he stole my shit. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't tell him he could. Okay, great. So I tell that to the judge, right? And see, I think the bigger part about this is why aren't they asking Mitch Westerman why the fuck he did it?
100%. Now wait for the hearing.
Like, don't you think as a judge you'd want to know why this man did this?
As what judge in Indiana? Yeah, no. Moving on.
I think I would want to know how the fuck damn dare you? I put a fucking protective order over all this shit. Who the fuck do you think you are to come and fucking fuck with my motherfucking shit? 100%. I would want to bring his ass the fuck up in here.
But listen to me.
That's Indiana. If I was Gull, I'd want to smack my titties in his face and be like, who the fuck do you think you are?
All those
you have no respect for my courtroom. That you thought that you could just waltz into Baldwin's office, do this shit to him. Well, I'm gonna show you today, son. Smack him with contempt.
Listen, I don't
and
want
then put his ass in fucking jail for contempt.
I don't want to get every judge.
And how I think you could probably make that happen is he's an extension of Baldwin's work stuff,
Okay.
and he would be under that.
And then
That's
Baldwin,
how I would bring his ass in.
I want Baldwin exonerated, and I don't want Baldwin looked at. So Mitch Westerman, take it on the ass, take it for the team. You did wrong. Baldwin didn't know. Get out of here with that. Tell us why you did it. Go spill.
Yes.
Spill it. But anyways, you guys just got a really good insight into.
That's how. Like, I mean, I don't understand how. I don't think that this is the right charges.
I don't think you know Indiana codes, but that's fine too. But it's basically the same thing. I would like to see it argued. Let's see what happens. Maybe it's a precedent. It's simply a misdemeanor.
I think, yeah, if they change the laws about you have to take pictures.
Simply a misdemeanor.
So in order to take property now, it's not just that you have to physically, obtain it.
Well, that would be theft. But like, look, this is conversion. It's kind of a different thing. But if you take a photo of my photo that I worked so hard at and you're selling it, I might not go to the police. I'm not really being serious. I'm going to kick your butt. I'm not serious. I'm just joking. But I mean, try to steal my stuff. Listen, there's copyright laws for a reason, and as an artist or whatever, but that's taking it on that level.
And none of this stuff was copywritten.
But it's basically a gag order.
That's where I'm headed with the whole. That motherfucker's in contempt.
I agree with that.
But are you in contempt if you're not part of the gag order? But there's a gag order across the board, right?
Well, we'll hear about this. It'll be interesting.
Because that was a protective order.
What are we gonna do?
I think that if I was Gull, I'm such a badass because she thinks she's Billy Bad Goat, motherfucker.
Billy Bad Goat?
Yeah, like Billy Gruff. I think she should bring him in there and fucking,
And say what?
Like she was willing to tell all of us YouTubers that we don't have First Amendment rights.
So you want her making a decision?
No, so I want her. I think she's a fucking joke. I think that she how she got to where she is today, it's very obvious. And if I actually had some fucking time on my hands, I would expose the fuck out of her. But I'm too busy freeing a couple people at the time, so fuck her. Indiana can deal with her. But no, truth be told, that woman's a fucking joke. All the women out there who voted for that fucking slutbag, 100% a slutbag, because I'm telling you, I know how people in Indiana get to where the fuck they got.
In your opinion only.
In my opinion only. Slutting around. Those fucking judges pass more STDs around with stripper friends and go-go dancers in Indiana than you could ever imagine. Them's the facts. So I don't have any respect for her. So I think that if she had any respect for her courtroom, she should be dragging Mitch Westerman the fuck up in her courtroom and telling him what's up. But wouldn't you?
I don't know.
I would, because this is my courtroom, and you just
it's my courtroom.
It's my courtroom. Fuck you.
Yeah.
This is my courtroom. That's what I think.
She should, but maybe Nikki will get in trouble.
I think she's biased as fuck. I think she's bought and paid for.
Listen, a lot of people don't agree with that, and
She's bought and paid for.
I agree with that. A lot of people don't agree with that.
I get free. Hey, First Amendment motherfucker, come get me. Put me in jail. First Amendment. I would. I'd be a good judge.
Who
Mod
said
Squad's fair.
Oh, I love Mod Squad is fair. I'm trying to look. I need my glasses.
Oh, Maya's right. Mod Squad loves it. Hi, Madi Body, Bo Body, Banana Mana, Ba Body, Me Mama Madi. I just thought it was a great motion. I think that was great. So
you
whatever.
did? I was laughing the whole time at it.
Because it was creative.
It was a reach, in my opinion.
It was creative.
But I think it's good. Whatever.
It was super creative. But I think it's accurate. I mean, not lies.
I just think that, it's interesting. We'll see what happens. So the 27th, you guys, 9 a.m.
Yeah, I think this is more important. I want to know why he did it. And it should come out.
I don't think we'll get to the nitty-gritty of that. Knowing Delphi.
You guys, I'm going to run. I'm going to put myself in the ballot. I'm going to run for councilwoman.
Do you understand that a lot of these people don't run? They run, and nobody runs against them.
Yeah, they run on what is it?
Contested. I forgot. It's on the tip. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
But I forgot.
Untitty tested.
So we're running, for DA. I'm going to be running for DA of Lafayette, Indiana.
we bought some property over there in the past year.
Everybody go out and vote for me. And then I'm going to give it to my very
unopposed. There it is.
Yes, unopposed. And then I'm going to give it to my friend who is going to take over because they live there. All right.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with
Thank you mods. Thanks everybody. Thank you subs.
You want to drop a bomb before you leave? Anything with Delphi? Give us one bomb. Come on, you have like 50 million of them. I've kept every secret.
Yeah.
I'll let you drop a bomb.
I don't know what I could drop.
You have like millions of
I don't know because I people's lives are at stake with my bombs, so I just try not to like say anything. And like I don't know what to say. It's on the 27th.
The bomb's on the 27th? You think? What do you think's going to happen on the 27th?
No, I just think the hearing is going to happen on the 20th. I don't think we're going to get to much, but it'd be nice to see them be honest about the
Do you think Karen Reed's innocent or guilty?
Do I think
Are you excited for my tailgate for the truth party when I tailgate over there in Boston?
What do you mean?
When I'm passing out all those beers.
No.
Okay. It's going to be pretty fun.
I don't think so. Boston's the most amazing city ever.
I got little pins.
But I'm starving.
Okay. Guess we're on lunch, guys. Hey, we love you guys. We try to keep it real. The realest bitches in town. I'll give you the bomb since Bella won't.
Go ahead. What do you got?
I got nothing. It's not my bomb to tell.
That's what I said.
It's not my bomb to share. No, but this girl knows more about Delphi than Delphi knows about Delphi. I'll tell you that. And I'm telling you, the Mitch Westerman situation is very, very important. I'm telling you that magic bullet not being mentioned in Ron Logan's affidavit is so fucking important. And that it's mentioned now. How would that not be something that they would be comparing that to?
Oh, I can drop a bomb that my friend Lieber told me about that one. So why is it that Mike Patty said that he went out there with a metal detector? And then, I mean, some people might know. And then they opened the scene back up. And then all of a sudden the police were out there saying that a metal detector found the magic bullet after they opened the scene back up.
That's a bomb. Mike Patty, the first one out there with a metal detector?
Yeah, right after he went out there with the metal detector, then all of a sudden, the magic bullet was found. Between the girls. How? Barry? How?
It's crazy.
Scene was reopened. How?
Scene was reopened and Michael Patty was out there?
Why was the scene closed to begin with?
We know lots of shit over here. I just keep my mouth motherfucking shut. There you go, guys. I knew she would do it for me. Bella dropped the mic bomb. There it is. There it is. I'm telling you guys, we are all over, like I said, 4 or 5 cases, hardcore, 2 in Idaho, 1 in Boston, 1 in Indiana, 1 in Pennsylvania, 1 in Florida.
Maybe Cali. Hey.
So.
In Cali.
I don't know what that means. I
Oh,
don't know what you're saying.
saying.
So. Let her cook, keep her going. They said, you just keep talking Delphi and let's just order in some food.
No, you guys tell her about the bet I already won against her that she needs to make good on. Some people know, wink, wink. What are you buying today?
Right, which was after they had searched RA's home when that was put in a report. We'll look into that.
No, it was like the 3rd day.
Yeah, they found that bullet. What? It wasn't the first time.
No. But there are people out there who have made videos that said the crime scene was never closed, that is not the right narrative. No, it was closed. It was absolutely closed. I have it from really, 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 really high authorities, not just residents. I'm talking about people in law enforcement, okay? This case was botched. It's not just my opinion. It's law enforcement's opinion.
Bella says there's never going to be justice.
There's never going to be justice, in my opinion.
And then my opinion is that I don't want Richard Allen going to prison for something that he didn't do. If they're going to cover for some of it, then fuck all you people. No, fuck all that. I don't believe Richard Allen did it. I think you guys are going to be hearing a lot about Keegan Klein again. Be prepared. So that's all I'll say.
Well, I think there's a lot of also viable people out there that why isn't Indiana looking at them? Why hasn't Indiana opened cases?
They knew they had a bunch of pervs running around there. They did nothing.
Well,
because
Kokomo.
the people above it, they're all pervs too. Fuck these pervs.
Yeah. All right.
Hashtag fuck these pervs. You heard it here first.
Sick. No merch about that.
Yeah, fuck these pervs is going on my shirts.
The merch.
That's going to be the next thing the patrol say. Lana's out there saying, fuck these pervs.
Oh my God, how dare
Oh my God, Lana's such a fucking fuck you.
I don't care. Let's go eat. Bye, everybody.
All right, see you guys soon. Boom.
Separate me from the boys. Chop up the singing should be on the voice. Gang, gang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we gon' die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me we be just serving up peace. When we serving the streets. They fully want peace. Bang,